Many of you who watch this channel are partial to a little bit of a tactical shooter. As am I like a bit of a tactical shooter, and for that reason you may have played around with Ghost Recon or Insurgency Sandstorm, or there's a whole raft of them out on the market. And I know many of you probably don't touch Call of Duty because it just doesn't quite meet what you're looking for. Well, Activision has changed that, and in today's video we're going to talk about DMZ because you might want to give it a look. We're going to go through the basics today. Hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's do it! So what is DMZ? Well, DMZ was launched along with Warzone 2, and a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that it is just an extension of Warzone, which to some degree it is. But for me, I think it's more along the lines of a kind of Spec Ops type game with some elements of Warzone thrown in. Now, to play the game, you're probably going to need a couple of buddies. You go into the map with a squad of 3. Now, can you play it solo? I'm sure you can. It would take a little bit of finagling and it would be fairly difficult to do, but it is absolutely achievable to play it solo, but I think it's going to be extremely hard to do. However, the footage you're seeing here is me playing solo, and I was in the map for quite a while. I got a lot done, and yeah, I had a very good time. Mike and I have been playing it as a duo, and we've been finding that has been working perfectly for us, but yeah, it would be handy to have that third player. You're dropped into the map on various locations, and there are a ton of things to do. Now, most of the gameplay is going to be versus AI bots, but mixed in with that, there are a number of real teams that will be in the map. Now, my experience is that you do come across those teams every now and again, and depending on what you're doing, you're more likely to run into those teams, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, we're just going to talk about really the basics of the game. So when you first load into the game, you're going to be confronted by this screen right here. So the operator, battle pass and store, just ignore that's kind of standard across the whole Modern Warfare 2 game. You'll see you've got a deploy, but before you deploy, it's important for you to understand a few things. So factions missions are really what this is all about, completing these faction missions and progressing. There's many things to do on the map apart from the faction missions, but you should always have these chosen. When you first come in here, you will only have Legion missions to do, and then as you complete these, it will start to open up White Lotus missions, and the more of those you do, it will open up the Black Musa missions. Now, these missions all have rewards associated with them. You can see there, there's an M16 there, there's key, XP, all kinds of stuff. So definitely worth doing. You don't have to do all the parts of the mission at once, and you can see on the kind of right hand side there's a number of missions I've got active there, and I've achieved certain parts of it. So you can do these. You can, like for instance, extract 7 gas cans. If you only get out with 1 gas can, it counts, and then you can keep going back in until you complete these. A lot of them are pretty easy to do. Some of them are a little bit more complicated. So okay, so that is the faction missions. Make sure you've got those switched on. If there's only 1 or 2 of you, you have the option of filling the squad. You can toggle that on and off. I was playing solo with the footage you're seeing, so I switched that off for that reason. And yeah, that will auto-fill depending on how many people we've already got. A squad of 3. We have a squad of 3 that we go in with. The second thing before you even start a game, before you deploy, is to go in and choose your loadout. Now, you will see in the top of this loadout screen, there is a thing that says on soldier. And as you pick things up and extract successfully, if you've got these items on you, that they will carry on into the next game. You can see there I've got an armor carrier that's level 3. You start off with a level 1, and if you happen to pick up better armor carriers and get out with it, then that's why I have a level 3, and that is the maximum level you can get with armor. I've got a medium backpack there, you can see, and again I managed to extract in the last game with a medium backpack. You will start with a small backpack, and then you can progress through a medium and into a large backpack around the map if you extract with it. And then you can add a weapon to that. I can actually have a weapon in there, and we'll talk about these in a minute. So you can carry up to 3 weapons essentially. And then you have these keys. Now these keys you will get as you go through the map. You will find these lying around all over the place, and there are specific areas where you use these keys. See, I've got 3 at the moment now. You can see there that there are 3 bars on some of those keys, which means we haven't used them yet. You can see the apartment 103 key I've used once, right there. So you only get to use these keys up to 3 times at any time, but they do have, if you do find these keys and you're able to find the location on the map of where these keys fit, you will be rewarded with good loot. Now, if you don't want to lose these keys, all you have to do is just hit the unequip button, and it unequips them and puts them in here. There you go. So get into the habit of maybe storing these and maybe going in with 1 key at a time and finding. If you're ambitious, you can arm all of those, but do know that if you get killed, you lose all your loots, and that's a very important thing for you to understand, that you will lose your loot if you get killed. So here's to the loadout. I've got my M4 selected, and this is in my insured slot. Now, your insured slots you will get for completing various tiers of faction missions. So you can see that's probably tier 1. Insurance slot 2 is complete tier 3 of every faction, and then insurance slot 3 is in complete tier 5 of any faction. So it's very important that you do those faction meetings so that you can get these insurance slots. What are insurance slots G for? These mean that whatever happens, if you die in the game, you will always have a gun in here. Now, there is a cooldown on some of these guns. There is a cooldown timer if you die with that particular gun in game. But the beauty of this gun is that you can go into the gunsmith and you can customize this up the wazoo if you like, and just like you do in multiplayer and all the rest of it, so you can have it looking just exactly the way you want it. If you want a pink gun, you can have a pink gun, and yeah, so that's that. So that is the insured slot guns. As you go through the game and you play the game, you will pick up weapons. If you manage to extract with those weapons, you get to keep them, and they're called contraband weapons. Now, these are basically, I guess, almost a blueprint weapon, and whatever's on them, you're stuck with. You can't go into the gunsmith and change these. However they play and whatever attachments they've got added to them is what you're given. If you die, you lose these weapons. So one of the things that I suggest you do is go in with 1 weapon and 1 weapon only, and then very quickly when you get into the map, kill an enemy, pick up his weapon and put it into that second slot. But you can put both of these weapons, just to show you, you can go into the game with both weapons if you like. Okay, make sure that if you have died and you come back of the game and you want to start another one, you come back in here and you redo your loadout, because it will reset it. Because it really depends. The reason it resets it is because you've lost loot. So it is a good strategy just to have one gun at a time until you build up a pool. You can have up to 20 contraband stashes. And Mikey and I now are going in and just going in, grabbing weapons and extracting so that we can build this kind of library of guns up, if you like. You can set up your tacticals and your lethals as we go, as normal, and also your field upgrades as normal. And that's a pretty standard stuff, and that's all you really need to know about the loading screen. As soon as you've got all that done, hit the deploy button. It'll tell you what your active missions are. You confirm that, confirm your loadout, and then in you go. Hit the matchmake or the ready button, and you're ready to get it into a game. Okay, so we've loaded into the game right here now. As I said, you'll load into random locations on the map, and we'll bring up the map and we'll explain the map to you a little bit. So you can see we're kind of in the western corner of the map, and when you zoom into this, there are a number of things around. Obviously the buy station is there, but there are a number of these green icons, and these are all different missions. You can see that's a deliver cargo, where you have to deliver a boat, nuclear material, all kinds of stuff on the map. So together with the faction missions, you can do these and they will give you rewards and you can extract that. Now, you'll see that there are extraction points around the map. These are the icons in blue. This is an exfil point. There's 1, 2 on the map, 3 on the map at the moment. There aren't a huge amount of exfils. There are strongholds for you. If you need to find a stronghold key before you can get into these. But if you get into these are very, very tough. But if you do win the battle of the stronghold, you will be rewarded with lots and lots of fantastic loots. And there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. You can capture a SAM site, for instance, which is the one with the rockets on. You can capture these, ping these radar sites. All kinds of stuff to explore and do. And as you can see, the map is absolutely massive. You might be wondering what that is about and what that is about. So there is a separate challenge for you in the radiation zone to go and find the chemist. The chemist is dressed in a radiation suit and has a exclusive... Okay, thank you. He has an exclusive weapon for you to get if you can kill him and get at it successfully. And that area is full of radiation. Now, after a set amount of time, the whole map is going to start filling up with radiation for you, by the way. So it's about 15-20 minutes in. And as you heard by the announcer, things get progressively difficult the longer you are in the map. The AI bots get harder, and running around and killing them is a lot harder than what you would think. And then there is this this case that you can pick up. Now, once you pick this case up, everybody in the map can see it. But if you get out with it, you are rewarded very heavily for exfilling with it. But essentially, once you've picked up this this case here, everybody on the map's going to start chasing you. All the teams, the live teams that are on the map, plus the AI are going to give you a hard time because they do not want you to leave the map with it. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the looting in this game. Very important that you loot, and once you've done looting, loot some more. Aside from all the missions and all the stuff that you can do, because the looting will allow you to buy all kinds of stuff from the buy station if you want to. You can sell the loot, buy plates and gas masks and improved equipment if you like, or you can extract with it, because the one thing that this game does do is it gives you a huge amount of XP for exfilling with lots of lovely loot. So there you go, guys. That really is the basics explained. I wanted to keep this reasonably short because I didn't want to fill your heads with too much information. These are the basics that will get you started in the game, get you exploring, and make sure that when you do start you understand all the things that need to be done. The first time I spawned into a game, I really didn't have a great deal of understanding what was going on. I will be doing a separate strategy guide if this video does well, and yeah, we will explain a lot more and talk a lot about the strategy and what a lot of the tricks that you can do to stay alive in this game and be successful. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a like rating is always appreciated. Love reading your comments, and we'll catch you next time on the channel. We'll see you.